You lived through 1976. You remember the exact moment certain songs stopped being songs and became the air you breathed. A security guard in Los Angeles wrote 3 minutes of pure silk. A high school history teacher from Atlanta cracked a joke about disco jazz and accidentally named a genre. A pregnant woman in a studio booth gave the world maternal warmth they didn't know they needed. These are not stories about superstars. They're stories about ordinary people who caught lightning in a bottle exactly once. The world doesn't reward logic. Sometimes it rewards luck. 13 Earth, Wind & Fire recorded Can't Hide Love in 1976. Skip Scarborough wrote it while working security at a Los Angeles hospital. A man guarding hallways at night carried a melody that would define an entire era of soul music. Morris White heard the original version and knew what Scarborough couldn't. This song needed orchestration, needed Morris's Fender Rhodes, needed that stutter vocal trick. The track climbed to number 11 on the soul chart, then number 39 on pop. But the real madness came later. Over 50 hip-hop artists sampled it.
You can't give what you never.
The 90s made it permanent. Quiet Storm Radio played it endlessly. A hospital security guard had written the harmonic blueprint for a generation. Scarborough died in 2003, forgotten by most, yet his song remained the standard.
You can't give what you never had. Yeah, yeah.
Next, we meet a band that turned a joke into a #1 record. 12 Brick recorded Dazz in 1976. Reggie Hargis taught history at a high school in Atlanta by day. The band played local clubs under another name, chasing a sound they couldn't describe. During rehearsal, someone made a joke. Call it disco jazz. The name stuck. Club owners wanted dance music. The musicians gave them something new. 4 weeks at #1 on the R&B chart. Number 3 on the Hot 100. Ice Cube sampled it. Snoop Dogg sampled it. Grand Theft Auto put it on the streets. The song gave the world a new word. But disco faded fast. By 1988, the band dissolved. Hargis and others returned to session work, to teaching, to the ordinary life they left behind. Like Earth, Wind & Fire, Skip Scarborough, the magic couldn't repeat. Yet Brick's Jimmy Brown still plays festivals. He calls Dazz a source of pride. Next, 3 sisters who spent 13 years singing gospel before one perfect moment arrived. It breaks my heart a little. Only 1% of people tuning into Retro Waves FM are subscribed. The rest of you return for the nostalgia, drifting in the memories of a better time, but you still won't commit. Think about it. You spent time here feeling young again, yet you leave before the magic settles. Subscribing is free, 0 cost, but it means you'll never lose the signal to your past. This channel is your time machine. Keep it running. Be the 1% who honors the memory. 11. The Emotions recorded Flowers in 1976. The Hutchinson sisters had been performing as the Heavenly Children for 13 years. Small church dates, domestic lives in Chicago, no recognition. Then Sheila Hutchinson stepped into the booth heavily pregnant. Morris White and Charles Stepney heard something in her voice, a strained maternal warmth they needed. The song reached number 16 on the R&B chart. It became a rare groove sample. Big Daddy Kane used it for Taste of Chocolate in 1991, but success came with a cost. The group was immediately overshadowed by their own collaboration with Earth, Wind & Fire on Best of My Love. Their solo identity became secondary. Wanda Hutchinson manages their legacy from home now. She says their longevity came from spiritual foundation before secular fame arrived. One pregnant moment changed everything. Next, a rock band that became a funk sensation by accident. 10. Wild Cherry recorded I Feel Sanctified in 1976. Rob Parisi had disbanded the original group in 1970 to manage a steakhouse in Steubenville, Ohio. He reformed them as a hard rock cover band, 200 capacity club. Hostile crowds. Then a disgruntled fan approached the stage. "Are you white boys gonna play some funky music?" Parisi scribbled the phrase on a drink order pad. That joke became, "Play the funky music." $2.5 million copies sold. Number 1 on both pop and R&B charts. Two Grammy nominations. I Feel Sanctified failed to chart significantly, but the predecessor changed everything. By 1979, the backlash came. Disco died. Subsequent singles died. The band dissolved. Parisi moved to Florida to program smooth jazz radio. He lives in a house purchased with One Hit's royalties. He calls himself the luckiest guy alive. Next, a man in a 3-year creative drought who borrowed someone else's dream. 9. Marvin Gaye recorded I Want You in 1976. 3 years of creative drought. Severe depression following his divorce. He retreated to his custom studio, Marvin's Room. To share is precious. Leon Ware, a struggling songwriter, played his demos for Gaye. Gaye immediately claimed the material, including the title track. Ware's own album never launched. Gaye's did. Number 1 on the soul chart. You don't want me now. Number 4 on the Hot 100. A foundational text for Quiet Storm Radio. A definitive sample source for 90s hip-hop. But Gaye faced a $600,000 divorce settlement debt to Anna Gordy. Like Wild Cherry's Parisi, Gaye faced the aftermath of one massive success. He recorded Here, My Dear, the divorce album. He fled to Europe to escape the IRS. Yet decades later, Rolling Stone placed I Want You in the 500 greatest songs of all time.
Want you, baby. I want you.
A borrowed vision defined an era. Next, a gravedigger who became a chart legend. 8. Rod Stewart recorded Tonight's the Night in 1976. In the early 60s, he had been a gravedigger at Highgate Cemetery. Failed apprentice at Brentford Football Club. Years of ensemble work in the Jeff Beck Group and the Faces. Then Caribou Ranch Studio. Britt Eklund provided the French spoken word bridge via telephone line.
Inhibitions run wild. The secret is
She wasn't physically present. 8 consecutive weeks at number 1, the longest running chart topper of 1976. The most successful single of his entire career. The BBC banned it for suggestive lyrics.
tonight's the night.
A plagiarism lawsuit followed. Yet Stewart maintains a residency at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas.
Upstairs before the night's too old.
He performs the track in his 90s. His autobiography confirms the song's enduring popularity allowed him to sustain his lifestyle for decades.
Spread your wings and let me come inside, 'cause
From gravedigger to Vegas legend. Next, a group transitioning from bubblegum to sophisticated soul. 7. The Jacksons recorded Dreamer in 1976. They had just left Motown for Epic Records. A legal injunction prevented them from using the Jackson 5 name. Jermaine Jackson departed. Kenneth Gamble and Leon Huff produced at Sigma Sound Studios in Philadelphia.
I'll be with you all night long.
Lush orchestral arrangement. A pivot from bubblegum pop to sophisticated disco soul. The self-titled album debuted at number 1. Dreamer peaked at number 9 on the UK chart, their first UK top 10 since 1974. But the group felt restricted by outside writers. They fought for creative control. The follow-up Destiny was self-produced. The Gamble and Huff era became a singular stylistic detour. Michael Jackson later noted in Moonwalk that Philadelphia sessions were necessary schooling. They gave him confidence to eventually write his own hits like Shake Your Body. One moment of outside production became a necessary education. Next, a Farm System Act finally discovered after 17 years. 6. The Spinners recorded Wake Up Suzan in 1976. 17 years as a Motown Farm System Act. Office work, chauffeuring, road managing for other groups, their own singles consistently failed to chart. Then Stevie Wonder approached them at a nightclub in 1970. He offered them It's a Shame on a portable keyboard. A parting gift before they left Motown for Atlantic. Wake Up Suzan was the final track on Happiness Is Being with the Spinners. Number 1 on the R&B chart, number 25 on the pop chart. 6 consecutive gold albums, but by 1979, their traditional Philly soul sound was eclipsed by disco. Lead singer Philippe Wynne departed. The group transitioned to novelty medleys. In 2023, finally inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Henry Fambrough stated the long wait didn't matter because the music did exactly what it was supposed to do. Next, two artists claiming their own identities through one perfect duet. 5. Natalie Cole recorded Mr. Melody in 1976. Bryson had spent years as a producer's assistant and background singer at Bang Records in Atlanta. Cole faced constant rejection from labels who viewed her solely as Nat King Cole's shadow. Chuck Jackson and Marvin Yancey wrote the track using a scat singing gimmick inspired by a child's nursery rhyme.
And it's good to know you're mine all the time. Yeah.
A bridge between Cole's jazz heritage and emerging disco soul. Number 10 on the R&B chart. A massive international crossover hit, won the Grand Prix at the 1976 Tokyo Music Festival. Like the Spinners' 17-year wait, Cole and Bryson had paid their dues in obscurity. But internal friction led Cole toward solo career in 1978. The specific Mr. Melody formula was abandoned. Bryson moved toward adult contemporary ballads. Cole entered severe personal struggle in the early 80s. Yet Cole later reflected that her early upbeat hits allowed her to claim her own identity.
And it's good to know you're mine all the time. Yeah.
She finally felt like a singer who happened to be Nat Cole's daughter. Next, a deaf man who bought his own master tapes back from a major label. 4. Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons recorded Our Day Will Come in 1976. Valli suffered from otosclerosis, calcium buildup in the ears that rendered him nearly deaf. The Four Seasons were without a record contract, considered a nostalgia act. Recent masters rejected by every major label. The track was recorded at 9W Studios in New York in 1975. It sat unreleased for months. Valli personally paid $4,000 to buy the master tapes back from Motown to prevent the recording from being shelved indefinitely. His own money, his own desperation, the song became a global disco-era staple. Number 11 on the Hot 100 in 1976, revitalized his solo career alongside Grease. By the late 70s, momentum stalled. The group dissolved. Valli underwent middle ear surgery to restore his hearing after years of performing by monitoring vibrations. He continues to perform the track in his 90s, states in interviews that his longevity is a miracle afforded by fans who kept his songs alive. Next, a blind man who created a history lesson for his daughter. 3. Stevie Wonder recorded Black Man in 1976. He had spent 1974 to 1976 in creative isolation. Hotels, North Hollywood's Crystal Industries, The album delayed so many times that Motown printed "We're Almost There" t-shirts to manage financial desperation. The track's educational call and response finale was sparked by Wonder's desire to create a history lesson for his daughter, Aisha. Alfan Theatrical Ensemble students shouted names like Cesar Chavez and Michi Itami over synthesizer-heavy funk groove. Part of the first album by an American artist to debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. A global pedagogical tool utilized by teachers in classrooms for decades, ubiquitous during the 1976 bicentennial. Yet the song-specific didactic funk style remained a singular experiment. Wonder never replicated it. He moved toward digital sampling and traditional pop structures of the 80s. In 2016, Wonder reflected that he wanted to write about history not taught in school. The track achieved its singular purpose regardless of commercial trajectory. Next, a backing band that became a funk sensation from an ice cream truck melody. 2. War Recorded Summer in 1976. Formed from the ashes of the night shift, they spent years as a backing band for pro football player Deacon Jones in Los Angeles Dives. Discovered by Eric Burden, the song originated from a casual studio jam. Harmonica player Lee Oscar began riffing on a melody inspired by intense heat and the sound of an ice cream truck outside the studio. A Child's Summer Fantasy became a #7 hit on the Hot 100 in July 1976. A permanent cultural fixture, revived for the 1994 soundtrack of Jason's Lyric. Following Burden's departure in the 70s peak, the band entered a decade of litigation over the war name. Original members split. Some performed as the Lowrider Band. Lonnie Jordan, the only original member in the current touring lineup, maintains that the song's enduring mission is to take the war out of the name and put it into the music for peace. Finally, a hotel room moment where two artists wrote gratitude in 20 minutes. 1. Rufus and Chaka Khan recorded Sweet Thing in 1976. Tony Maiden and Chaka Khan were performing in small Chicago clubs like the Burning Spear. Struggling to keep Rufus afloat after original lead singer Ron Stockard departed. They wrote the song in 20 minutes using an acoustic guitar while sitting on the floor of a hotel room. Intended as a simple thank you to their fans, #1 on the R&B chart. #5 on the pop chart. Mary J. Blige covered it in 1992, revitalizing its status as a definitive soul standard. Yet internal friction led Chaka Khan towards solo career in 1978. She left Rufus to struggle with maintaining their identity without her powerhouse vocals. Khan continues to perform the song as her signature closing number. Her autobiography, Through the Fire, confirms the track remains the most honest representation of her early musical spirit. 13 songs, 13 moments, 13 ordinary people who caught lightning exactly once. The world doesn't reward logic. Sometimes it rewards luck.